Okay.
Alright, so I think we're going to just kind of pick up, just assume that you and Monica's character and Hagar got it, you got it. So maybe she died in the dungeon, which is why she isn't here.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to say she
No,
died.
she's just
we just parted ways.
She flitted back off to the forest to do whatever the forest people do.
Yeah.
So I think the way I wanted to start it was, you and Hagar are in a. You are traveling back at night with pride in your breasts and joy in your hearts as you successfully found the dragon's piss, and which the camera's not going to know. Viewers will not know what the dragon's piss is.
You could give us a little backstory.
Last we left our adventurers, Hagar the dwarf recruited Artemis the tiefling and a few other adventurers to go seek his ancestral family homeland to recover the strongest ale known to dwarf or man or tiefling. And it was called the Dragon's Piss. There was a legend behind it. Is it Dragon's Piss? Is it just a strong dwarven ale? Who knows?
We sure hope it's not Dragon's Piss.
And a single drop is enough to get the stoutest of dwarves drunk off their asses.
So did I get quite a lot of that?
It's a single flask. It was very little. But a single drop.
Right. That could last me a long time. Well, and then we still have to, not spells, but remember we did talk about possibly having Artemis have that drunken fist style sort of power up when she's drunk, and then negatives when she's not.
Yeah, I don't think.
But now with the dragon's piss, though, it seems like I might be busted.
Yeah, I figured we'll just kind of gloss for that.
Okay.
I think it'll be more role playing rather
Sure.
than stat stuff for now.
Okay.
So then maybe when you run out, because now you're pretty.
Yeah, I'm pretty
single
stacked
drop.
now. Before it was more reasonable because I didn't have absurdly potent alcohol.
So as you and Hagar are traveling along the road, kind of stumbling a bit, having tried out the drink, it tastes like warm honey and flowers and a strong ammonia. And so as you walk with him, you're kind of traveling down the well-trodden road, and you see a rowdy inn where all the local farmers and stuff have come to gather, and it is getting to be deep night.
Haggard, you lovely bastard. What an adventure that was. Sure am glad that you happened to find me in that tavern. Lovely times, lovely times.
It's like all the bards will sing about sails, and he kind of just realizes
Well, you
now.
old fool, I
he just
am a
realizes,
bard.
he's like, oh, by Hagar's beard, and he smacks you on the back, and he's just like, you will compose the song of our adventure. And then he raises a toast, and it's like a little tiny droplet on his finger. That's the shot, and he licks it, and then like the beard hair on his thing straightens and sticks out. It's so.
Yes, Haggard, it is a piece that I will be working on. But for now, let us rest a little bit.
He's like, from one tavern to another, and he sees the tavern on the side. It was like, come, I'll buy you the next round and a meal for helping me discover my familiar problems.
Well, don't let me stop you from treating me to a little something. Why don't we head on over then?
All right, so you approach the end. What is Artemis dressed like?
That's something I haven't really thought about.
Okay, so
All I know really is that she's kind of she's a boisterous woman. She's kind of large and chunky, thick for sure. She has fairly long, curly, super dark black hair. Eyes are also just straight black. Can't see pupils, nothing. Horns. Oh, because she's a tiefling. Horns kind of go out and then back a little bit and kind of do.
So out, back,
Out
and
and
up.
back and up. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Super curly, dark black hair. I imagine she's wearing some sort of tight-fitting dress. Not super long and flowy, but also not very, very short.
I'm picturing
Just kind of like a maiden's.
tight, like the barmaid, kind of like that
Yeah,
tight.
exactly. Just like that.
With the
yeah.
laces here and then this to kind of like
Yeah.
push it out.
Just like that.
Does she
Kind
wear any
of
sort of
florid.
traveling cloak or a hood or anything?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say it's a red cloak. I like the cloak.
Is your hood up or down?
It's down. Her hair is so large
hard
and
to, like,
voluminous. It's
Tuck
yeah.
into. Okay, so as you kind of like bust into the tavern, just open the door wide. You're kind of like arm in arm, kind of staggering, laughing a bit, and you see like just a bunch of farmers. They're all gathered. They're eating. There's like the barkeep behind. It's a well-lit, cozy area. But as you kind of like come in, you hear the chatter of sound and conversations, and then very quickly, as everyone turns to look, the sound of the tavern dies down.
As we're walking in.
As you walk in,
What? Never seen a tiefling before. Mind your own business
it
then.
becomes kind of like a low muttering as you kind of just come in, and
I shout that entirely to the
okay,
crowd.
everyone
And
kind of
then
like
I just kind of flip my hair a little bit. I'm like, come on, Haggard. I thought you were treating me.
Hacker's like, yes, he's totally oblivious to the mood change. He's like, yes, and he just kind of like saunters up to the bar, slaps his hand down with some coins that you guys found in the from the dungeon, old dusty coins,
Oh, okay.
and he's just like,
Haggard's life savings.
and he's yes, a pint of ale as a nice, because we're getting thirsty after our dragon's piss. We need something to wash it down, something a little more. What's that word for quenching? Something a little more quenching. And it's like, and just an entire roast duck if you have it. Just the biggest roast you have. And the barkeep's like cleaning his stuff. He's like looking at you. He does keep flicking over to you.
I give him a little bit of a wink. Give him a kiss too.
And so then he takes the coins. He comes back with 2 mugs of just like large wooden tankards of ale, and he reaches like kind of leaves to go back to get presumably the largest roast that they have. And you guys find a table?
No, I think we're gonna hang out at the bar until we get that roast up.
Okay. So you're kind of like hanging out at the bar, and like you still kind of hear the muttering and the whispering kind of behind you, and the barkeep comes out and he has this big ass roast duck, and
how much do I have coin wise?
not sure how much you have written down there.
10. I have 10 here, and then I have 50 that I wrote there, so I have 60.
I will say at the end of
The real
the dungeon, I assume you found some stuff. So
Yeah, well, I circled it right here. I imagine this is what I got, 50 gold pieces.
Okay. Well, I have an additional 58 that I wrote. So
Okay. I mean, I'll take it.
assuming you found from the end of the dungeon there.
Okay. I go ahead and I toss in a piece of gold. And I give him another wink. Thank you, love.
He takes it, kind of like, and it's gone. And he kind of goes back to cleaning his mug, and he starts to try to engage in conversation with one of the other farmers, and it seems a little tense. And
I choose to ignore.
and there's. So what are you guys doing now?
I suppose now we can go for the table.
Okay.
Haggard, my feet are tired from this long journey. How? It was probably like what, down the street.
Well, I assume it's kind of like off in the woods, so it might have been a fairly long journey.
Okay, regardless of what the distance was, she's still gonna say that. Come, let's find a nice quiet table.
Okay, and there's one kind of in the corner there, a little bit dusty. the tables are all just kind of spaced out, probably like 8 of them. So the 8th table in the corner doesn't have anyone at it. So
Maybe the 8th table in the corner.
because they're all like 8 tables, spaced like that.
Oh, so both tables though are empty in the corners.
Just one in the corner there. Everyone else has like maybe a few people here, a few people there. Seems to be like friends that are kind of meeting. Some people are walking between the tables, talking to each other.
Alright, well, we'll go ahead and take the empty table.
So you take the empty table. Hagar just like slams both of the ale mugs down and just starts to like just eats
Rip
it.
into the
He's
roast.
just like he just does. He just takes it. Just both legs. He has both drumsticks because those are Hagar claims the drumsticks.
No, my favorite part's the breast, anyways.
And as you guys are eating heartily, one of the farmers you've seen kind of like stumbles up. You guys sit for a good like 10-20 minutes just enjoying your meal. But then after a while, like the muttering is kind of coming to a pitch, and a drunken farmer kind of staggers to your table. He's just like, "It's been a while since I've seen one of you goat people around here."
Goat people. Quite creative, aren't you, little one?
He's just like, "You insulting me, goat fucker.
Goat fucker!
You gotta come from somewhere. I
Where
assume your mother
in the
fucked a
world
goat."
would you have gotten the idea like that? Oh, you mean these things? And she kind of polishes them a little bit, puffs her hair up. Yes, they're quite the decoration for my face, aren't they?
And another one comes up, like another farmer stands up. He's like, Irvin, we don't these traveling gypsies, these and he kind of whispers, but you overhear a little bit. This is like, they consort with devils, you know.
What was his name again?
Irvin.
Yes, Irvin. We do consort with devils. You wouldn't want your crops dying tonight, overnight, perhaps this winter.
And, do an intimidation check.
Oh god, I don't think I'm very good at intimidation.
So
Well,
you
I'm not
just
proficient,
roll,
but it
and
is
then
my
you get your
charisma.
charisma
So.
modifier.
18, baby, plus 4.
He kind of like comes back a little like fear stricken. He kind of goes a little white and goes back to his table, and the muttering starts to get louder and more pitched. And Hagar
Give him
seems to
one of
not
these.
really notice. Hagar does not seem to notice much at all. And you guys continue eating your meal. And then the atmosphere is more tense as now more of these farmers are kind of banding together,
Yeah, I probably should have said that, but.
and they approach you now. Irvin kind of like getting some of the color back to his face. He's just like, "We won't have your sorcery, your witchcraft, your black magic around here, Teeth."
Well, I'm glad you dropped the whole goat bit. Listen, I'm not really trying to fight right here. We had a really good time, me and Haga. We're just trying to, celebrate a little bit. Would you mind going back to your table?
Would you mind going out? Get out back to the pit of hell from which you crawled.
Well.
Hagar starts to. Oh, finally, he's catching wind of all
I
of
was
this.
wondering when Hagar
Finally,
was
he's
gonna
like really
pop in.
enjoying his meal. Now it's kind of he's kind of coming to, and he's just like, and he stands up. The chair clatters behind him, and then he's just like, "What do you say to my friend?" He's just like kind of getting his dukes up around here.
Haga, we're not trying to fight here, love. Come on, surely there's some sort of agreement we can come to.
The agreement is you leave.
Well, I haven't quite finished my meal yet.
And then they start to get like darkened looks on their face. It's just like, it's not a question, not a request.
Good lord.
We don't want you any spits, you goat fuckers near here.
Oh my god. Kind of want to fight these guys, but Haggard's a little drunk. What have we got here?
You got Hagar, and you can tell him to do stuff. Like, Hagar's kind of yours. I'll role play him, but in combat you could also kind of.
How many of those farmers are there?
The ones that are standing up, I'd say probably 4 of them. Just like typical. Some of them are like kind of aged looking. Like one of them is kind of like younger looking, a little bulkier. The others are just kind of crotchety old men, but they feel safe in their numbers.
I wish I had thaumaturgy to try to intimidate them.
You actually do.
Do I really?
I think tieflings just have thaumaturgy.
No way. Alright, I want to try to cause a scene then. So as I'm saying this,
Yeah, you know the thaumaturgy cantrip as a
Okay.
tiefling.
so as I'm saying what I'm about to say, my hair is going to start kind of poofing out a little bit. Lights are going to start to dim, and then the windows will kind of shake just a little bit. I'm trying to be nice, and I'm trying to have a good meal here, my loves. But you are quite starting
They
to
stand-
piss me
They start
off.
pulling back as you're saying these things. And
Should I roll another intimidation? Or is this just...
you can roll another intimidation with advantage because with
Okay. Ooh! Thank God I
Uh,
have advantage because that was a 4. A 14 plus
Okay.
4, 18.
okay. There are incredibly scared now, but that does kind of harden their. They're now terrified. They really want you out of here. And one of them actually does, like Haggard
Okay.
sees it.
What is Haggard?
He sees one of them is going for, like, he actually reaches for his little belt knife.
I'm gonna
now,
try to get
freaking
my
out.
whip in reaction and grab
Okay,
this.
roll off. We'll do an initiative roll, just because initiative we just need to do kind of quick and back and forth.
12.
7. So as
I'm gonna roll.
he kind of reaches, he's just like, it's true, the devil's in her, and he goes for it, and your whip just kind of do a quick, just attack roll. What was that?
Are you kidding me?
So your whip kind of just flicks over, and it actually there's some casks that are like piled up, casks of ale piled up on the corners, and your whip kind of and knocks over with the supporting beams, and a few of them start to roll towards you guys, and one of them smashes to the ground and spills ale all over the ground. And
No!
now more
What a
people
waste
are
of
kind
good
of looking this way.
ale! Haggard, time to go, my friend.
Everyone's like, what are they doing to the ale?
Grab your roast beef and let's go!
He does. He has still the
it's
two
stuck.
drumsticks. Yeah. He still has the two drumsticks, and like he's
I'm gonna
trying to
grab
fend
my-
one of them off.
I'm gonna grab my trough. Or is it? What did you say it was? Not trough. My tankard.
Flag.
I'm gonna grab
Tankard,
my
whatever.
tankard. We're gonna dip out of that shit.
There's two blocking your way now, as they're kind of like.
Thunder wave
All right.
to push them back. 12. What is thunder
They-
wave? Oh no, thunder
you
wave is
don't
actually
roll,
you have
they
the
do it.
Constitution saving throw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just normal, so it's doing there. They both fail, so they both get blasted off their feet. You roll your 2d8 damage.
Oh, shoot, I didn't really want to do damage. Like the hole we're digging ourselves in here. However, this is my 8. With no dice. I roll a 3.
The
I
3,
rolled a 3, yeah.
1 and a 2,
Oh, I get 2?
2d8s.
Oh, okay. A 4. 3 and a 4.
Yeah, so 7. So they're kind of blasted off their feet, dazed, and as they knock over some tables, and some of the candles that were on the tables fall over into the ale that was splattered and starts to catch light.
Good God! Haggard, we've overwelcomed our stay, my friend. We must leave now.
He just sits there, is like, oh, and he's like dueling some people with his like big
Drumstick.
with his drumstick, and then they start to mutter and just like, she's casting fire, she's casting spells, the witch, the devil.
No, that one wasn't me. That was a little bit of an accident. Rolls aren't good and all, let's leave, Haggard.
All right, we're gonna do a quick little, tiny little skill challenge between you and Haggard to try to get out of here. I just want to throw some mechanics out here real quick. So a few of them, there's some that are running to kind of try to stamp out the fire, and more of the bars kind of looking around, being like, definitely the attention to your table is now uproarious.
What I
So-
was trying to avoid.
More are coming over, and yeah, so they're some of them are coming in with the things. I'll say with your Thunder Wave, you're able to knock the ones out of your way, and as you're running, Hager's going to try to like use his strength to blow one of them, kind of like just check his body, check him out of the way. 19. He just
Jesus, he massacres this guy.
So this guy just like tumbles over the table, hits the chair falls backward, he rolls Looney Tunes style.
Haggard, enough! We have caused enough of a scene.
It's like there always seems to be a scene with you.
Good one, my friend. That was really good.
Quick little high five as you're like running out. And all right, so you're running. What do you do?
Alright, do we have people running after us?
A few of them, yeah, are kind of trying to like get after.
So this Song of Rest, it's not like Jigglypuff where I start singing.
You could have
knockout.
If you chose.
Oh,
sleep.
actually, I do have sleep.
Another one of your first level spells.
Yeah, I do have
if you want to
sleep.
use your sleep.
But I only have 2 slots, so this would be my last one. I'd
You're
like to.
level 2, so you should have more.
3?
Yeah, I think you do have 3 slots. And probably more spells. You should know more spells too.
Well, I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, yeah, you know 4, 5. Thaumaturgy you just get for freebies. Those
So
aren't
is that a
including.
cantrip?
Oh, those aren't
Is
including your
Thaumaturgy?
cantrips. Thaumaturgy is a cantrip, yeah. Okay, and
I have
yeah,
no
so you
idea how to
have
spell
3,
Thaumaturgy.
5 spells known, 3 spell slots.
Yeah.
Thaumaturgy.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and use sleep then. Try to sing in the lullaby.
Okay. I think sleep is you roll a shit ton of 6-sided.
6-sided? I do not have a lot of 6-sided. This is an 8. That is 4.
5d8s, holy shit, 5d8s. So roll your d8.
Oh, my D8.
Yeah, your 8-sided. Roll them 5 times. Pick one of those.
6. 6, 5, 2. 8, 2. And then one more?
No, that's 5.
Okay.
So 8, 10, 15, 21, 23. Right on my little roller. So, 3, I think they have. And so, the 2 that are kind of like running after you, they just get drowsy. They're kind of like swim dog. Stop. And they fall asleep here. So that's 1 success. So then as you're running, like one more kind of like bars the door, and both you and Hager are going to roll something to get them out of the way. What are you trying?
We're gonna what?
You're just going to do something to get, there's like the burlier guy is standing in front of you trying to like block your way, and you and Hager are rolling together to do something. So you can.
Haggard and I?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna try to use my whip to grab onto the guy, and then Haggard charge him to get knocked off balance.
Okay, let's see if your whip ever does something useful.
I know, right? 16!
Hager rolled 1.
Haggard, why? Okay, but at least I hit, so I'm
did.
gonna pull it.
So you pull it, and it's like he was gearing up to just totally like full force into this guy, and then he gets yanked and goes, whoa. So Hagar just plows through, misses him entirely. He drunkenly kind of trips over the step, and he just tumbles out the door. And you make it out.
Dumb bastard, you.
So you make it out of this. And as you turn, like you kind of stumble out of the steps, you turn back to look at the inn, and part of the inn has caught fire.
Yikes. Well, you know, I tried to tell them to leave me alone. This is just a bit of old consequences, I guess.
And
Well, not my problem. Sorry,
so then you just kind of like you book it, you hurry away, and there's so no comfortable rest in the inn for you guys as you kind of come along the road, and you start to get a little drowsy from the alcohol. You can travel for another like 2 hours down the road, kind of just.
We haven't run into any other inns.
No, this was just kind of like often, kind of just like the it's not like a big city. It's just like a small side of the road kind of deal. And Hager's like,
What direction did we run in? Like towards Haggard's castle?
oh, you wanted to run towards the.
Well, I mean, if we don't really have a place to sleep, I imagine Haggard's old castle can have something for us.
You could, yeah, you could get back if you wanted to.
Sure.
So you
I just don't trust you.
You come in and there's some weird memories here as you eventually make it back out. Well, I would say it's a little far away. Like you could start
Okay.
getting back, but it's like kind of because it was some days travel there, probably some days travel back. you know?
Okay. Damn, we were traveling for quite a while. Alright, well.
So did you want to still head that way, or?
No.
Yeah, the largest town that you know of is west, and Haggard's Castle is like off to the northeast here, hidden in some
Okay.
forested areas.
Yeah, let's just go to the nearest town.
So you kind of like hustle out, and Hagar starting to his eyes are drooping. He's just like, oh my very conscious friend, I am not able to. Your magical witch sleep spell was.
I hit him too?
No, but he's just getting really tired.
Heck, and I didn't even use it on you, you fool.
And he's just like, he's almost like babbling a little, and he just kind of like slumps down. He curls up into a little drunken dwarf.
I'm not sure if it's the brightest idea to stay out here in the open, Haggard. Perhaps we can keep walking.
He's like, you want to walk all night?
Well, no, not really.
He's like,
But what else are we
We're
doing?
in the middle of nowhere. Look over there. Look over there. What do you mean? I don't see nothing.
Well, I guess it'll be okay.
Just
Is
like
there
what?
any sort of something cover that?
Oh
we
yeah,
can-
there's like trees and kind of like, cause it's just you're walking along a clearing. There's some, and it's like not in the middle of like there's some farm patches you would see kind of. You're still in the outskirts of civilization.
Is there any hay barrel around?
Yeah, I'd say like there you might be able to find
Let's
kind
go
of like
find
some
a hay
haystack.
barrel. Haystack or something.
So you were able to. I already said I'm not going to roll for it. So you're able to find a
Yeah, you
kind of a hay barrel, just some kind of like hay rolled up in kind of an old, not quite abandoned, but it seems like it's a dusty old disused barn was kind of sitting
Okay.
like off next to some of it. You go there and some rats scurry out of your way, kind of brush off the cobwebs as you come in. It smells very like the hay seems a little musty, a little moldy, a little old.
Well, a little bit of mold surely can't hurt.
Like, no, and he's deep breaths. He's like, ah. And then he just kind of like, clump comes to the hay barrel. He's out.
Well, I guess I'll stay up for a bit.
Okay, what do you do, like?
Do I have my imp?
No.
No, not at this point. It's gonna be an adventure to get it.
Yeah.
God damn it. Well, I guess I'll just strum casually on my instrument.
So you're playing your instrument kind of into the night. Night passes uneventfully.
Why can I not remember the name of my instrument?
You name it something.
No, just the kind of instrument.
Wasn't it a lute? A sitar?
I think it's sitar. No, let's just go ahead with the classic.
Lute.
Yeah.
And then so the star you kind of are playing it. There's like a skylight in the barn where you can see the stars, and you play it long enough to where some of the stars have shifted positions.
Alright. I'm gonna go smack Haggard. Tell him to wake up so I can sleep. Sleep in shifts, you fool.
Shifts? What is this? What are you, the captain of the watch?
Well, no, that's you now.
I was like, oh yes, I am.
Yes,
Captain.
It's a great responsibility.
Captain Hagar. Your quick persuasion.
11, but I'm proficient.
Captain Hagar. He's like, yes, I suppose. He's kind of puffed up a little proudly. Still kind of like a bit of a hangover. He finds like a water bucket that's definitely been sitting there collecting rainwater from no one. He's like, slops it and it's all over his beard.
Well, sweet dreams, my friend, Captain Hagar.
So you go to sleep. And as you wake up, the sun kind of rotates up and you stretch. You wake up and you see Hagar just totally asleep.
This drunken bastard who fell asleep on the watch.
What? You're not Captain of the Guard, I am.
Oh, sorry. Did I say something?
And he's much He's a little bleary-eyed. He's a little like, what happened last night? What did we do? I have strangers.
Well, see, you happened to start a fight with everyone.
Reasonable. It's not like the first time it has happened.
Yeah, we ended up getting run out of the old place. Started a fire for whatever reason. Never seen you really play with fire. Quite odd.
It's me. Oh, he looks stricken. He's just.
Yeah, well, we were run out of there. Long story short.
He like takes the dragon's piss and he's just like, I must swear off alcohol forever if I'm over here setting fires in my drunken stupor.
Yeah, you might want to let me hold on to that.
He's like, maybe safe. Maybe once you can be the caretaker. Maybe once I'm in
Sure,
a safer
yeah.
place among
Right,
friends.
Of course, Captain Hacker. Take his tanker or whatever he has, flask.
And as you are, what are you guys doing here?
Let's make our way west.
Okay,
Yes,
so
to that town.
you kind of come out traveling. The air is brisk, but still like very well lit. The sun is warm, but the air is cold.
Probably.
You still probably have enough. Like there was a whole ass duck you made out with, so.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So you probably have a little bit for the morning. And as you kind of travel along the road, just kind of a plodding walk. Not much seems to be happening. You're kind of going over rolling hills with farmland on your left and right. And you see people way off in the distance working the fields, but too far away to make out any details in review. They don't pay much mind. And as you start to come, the road gets a little wider. You start to see some travelers, and you actually see a big host of travelers up ahead with a caravan.
Can we go up to them?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So-
put my hood on.
Okay, so you put your foot up there, and
And actually, probably not. I feel like with the way my horns
Yeah,
are,
you
I think
would
they'll
describe
stick out
some
regardless.
incredible horns. so unless you get a really big hood.
Yeah, no.
So as you're kind of like approaching, you actually see the caravan is very brightly colored with lots of like looks like home woven material symbols that you kind of distantly, faintly recognize. And as you approach there, you actually see a bunch of travelers in hoods and cloaks.
Are they tieflings?
Are they? Are you gonna go? So you go
Oh,
up.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
So yeah, you come up and they kind of like as Hagar approaches, he's like, "Ho there, friends, travelers!" Just they kind of like look and shy away a little bit, and as they catch sight of you, like one of them drops his hood and runs up, and he's a very young one. He runs up, he's like, "Oi! You look like me!"
He's got.
Oi! He is.
Well, Fred, it's been a while since I've seen another tiefling.
He's like, "Ma, Pa, come! We found a stray." And some of the other travelers out of the wagon kind of pop up, and you see a male and a female tiefling, and then tieflings they each have kind of dramatically different horns. Like the male's is curled like a ram's,
Cool.
and then the girl's is kind of like just a delicate kind of like comes up and in, and then comes down to a point in front of her head like that, almost like a circlet she's wearing.
Oh, weird.
And then they look at you, and the man, he's wearing just kind of like traveler's cloaks. It looks very ragged and very brightly colored. And he has actually kind of like piercings in his horns. And
Oh, really?
he comes and
I
he's
gotta
just
get
like,
more decorative with my horns.
yeah, little bobbles on some of them. He's like, oh, what? Thank the nine hells. We have a traveler in our midst. And then he just welcomes. And the woman kind of like comes in and she's like, "Oh, are you tired? Do you need food or water?"
Dreadfully tired. Yes, we had to sleep in this dusty old barn. Fortunately, not too many people are fond of our kind.
And she's like, yes. And the man kind of is like, "Oh, well, lucky for you, we take our dusty old barn with us." And he points to the wagon, and it's he's like, yes. And then you like a few more. It seems to be about 10 of them, kind of like come
10 tieflings?
milling about. They all seem to be traveling. There's a few paired, like man, woman. Like
Right.
the only child seems to be the one that you initially saw, kind of running around. He's like, yes, come, friend, come.
Where is it that you are all headed?
He's like, well, as you know, we're just headed to the next destination. We kind of travel from here or there. We're not really from anywhere. We're not really going anywhere.
Lifestyle I'm quite familiar with.
And the woman kind of sighs as he's talking this way. He looks very exuberant as he's like talking, and she just kind of like. And then he invites you over to the wagon, and he just kind of jumps up. There's like just kind of a little mule pulling it. It's very slow pulling it, not very fast, but just rolling slowly along. He's like, we don't have too much in the way of food, but we have. He kind of like rummages around. He's like tossing some stuff back over here. Kind of like looking around. He's like, aha! And it's like some kind of like not quite. They're a little stale, just some stale bread. He's like, we've been saving these for a moment just like this, and he breaks it and gives some to everybody.
I feel kind of
everyone
bad. We
included.
still have some. I could. Why don't you share a little bit of our roast duck?
He's like, of course, hospitality begets hospitality. And he pulls out, and there's just enough to where he pulls out some little piece, and you all can make little makeshift sandwiches with it. And he's like, so what's your story? What's your name?
Well, I am Artemis. This here, my short, stout friend, is Haggard. Not much of a story, really. Kind of unimportant.
He's like, that's what feigning unimportance. He kind of taps his nose knowingly. He says, like, it's essential for our kind. You stay under the radar, but as you know, we are all very important. We're all the stars of our own story. And he looks at your lute and he's like, and I can tell you're a bit of a story weaver yourself.
Well, I once was, I suppose you could say.
He's like, my hands are a bit clumsy, so I've never quite learned an instrument, but I too a weaver of stories. And he kind of gets you all around. He starts kind of just telling a quick little story about the band, and I'm not going to go super into the story, but it's just like, it's a very, like, he's very emotive. He's very like grand gestures, the facial expressions, like his scowls take on the character, and everyone, like the kid's very like clapping along, and Hagar just gasps and cries and weeps openly as the story concludes. He's like, that was beautiful, my friend. And he's just like, yes, well, I can't play, but I can weave a story myself.
And a wonderful story.
And he introduces himself. He's like, my name is Vasago, at your service.
Vasago.
This is Nija, my lovely wife. And then-
Amnesia?
Nija. And
Amnesia?
Nija.
Like amnesia?
Not spelled like that. It's like not, and he's like, not spelled like that, but she strikes me with amnesia every time I see her. She's so beautiful. And she kind of like, oh, stop. And he's like, and this little spawn of Satan is Ziamos. The little
Ziamos?
Ziamos.
How do you spell
Zheirmoz.
that? Ziamos. Well,
He's like, in our little family, we're
I
traveling
love
here
these names.
to there, kind of every which way, and that's we've been traveling as long as this little guy can remember, and we'll probably be traveling for quite a bit more. And then Nisha kind of like hears that and sighs a little bit.
So she's not very fond of the traveling lifestyle, then
You say that?
Sure.
And then so you're kind of like, he's like, well, always on the road, always feeling like you're on the run. If only there was a place to just settle down, make a place that's your own. That's what I want. And then Basako's like, it's like, this again, this, like, don't you love the open road? We sleep under different stars every night. Never the same place twice. It's exciting. Great place to grow up, because there's no place at all.
I do see the appeal of both, but yeah, unfortunately, it's not really easy to find somewhere to stay when you look like the rest of us.
Like, yes, that's no homeland to call our own. He's like, not like you lot. And he points at Hagar. I was like, yes, we have a fine kingdom spanning mountains. And he's like, I feel for you folk. I can't imagine what it would be like to have no place to return to.
Well, One thing you've got going for you is that you do still have your families.
And he kind of like grabs him and he's like, yes, yes, and they're kind of like, stop. And he's like, yes, of course. And so as you're kind of traveling the wagon, you're kind of sharing your conversation. You start to see like a bigger city in the distance. He's like, would you mind traveling with us? We can share your company a bit longer before we reach the town.
Well, I would love that.
And then, so you just kind of travel with them, kind of chatting, swapping stories, kind of enjoying their company.
What is this town called?
Oh,
sorry, I keep yawning.
it's 8:30.
My ear hurts.
Shoot.
Feels like I got a mosquito bite in here.
It's the one thing I didn't have as a town name. Hold on.
Oh my god, really? Basago. Nisia?
Tunisia.
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 And Zermos?
Zios, yes. He's like, that is Breden over there. He's like, not too big, not too small, just kind of the right size. Maybe some people who might like a show or a bit of a... He's like, we are kind of performers by trade. So maybe some might earn some copper there.
Sorry, what? You said that to me?
So he's like, yes, it's the town of Breden over there. It's not too big, not too small. Maybe some bored folk are in need of a little light entertainment. That is our specialty. We are performers. Maybe we can earn a few copper there for
Wait,
lucky.
they're performers?
Yep. It's like maybe we can earn a few copper there for
Are
lucky.
all tieflings performers? Artemis is giving hella flashbacks and she's not fond of this. She actually is wanting to kind of escape.
Okay. So, as you kind of like mentioned that we're on a team. He's like, well, as travelers on the road, we'll have to make a living somehow. So. And you start to reach kind of like the outer city gates, and he's like, well, this is where we'll make our stop. We're not going to go in. We'll kind of pull off to the side and set up our little camp where no one will notice, and it won't be a bother until we're ready to host the show.
Maybe I should say. It's definitely uncomfortable with it for Artemis because part of the reason she did develop this alcoholism was to, kind of forget about her family and all that. So this is definitely kind of rough for her. But I think at the same time, being the way Artemis is, I don't think she's gonna make it that obvious. So I think she will stay, but she's certainly gonna, I don't know, not necessarily avoid talking to them, but probably not be as talkative.
Okay. So you kind of like stay there, and a few days would actually pass as they kind of get everything set up.
Does this mean my sluts?
Yeah, so you've been able to take your long rest here as they kind of set up everything. Like Hagar helps him set up like a little tent and like a little podium. And
what is Hagar doing? Like
he's just hanging out, like right now.
He's just gonna
Well, as
hang
you
out
ask,
for the rest of
like
the
if
life.
you want to ask, like he's like, oh well, I plan to return back to my home kind. It was kind of a bit of a dare, a bit of a manifest destiny to see if I could prove the existence of this dragon's piss. And he's like, I wish to return and show that my family name isn't just to be just tarnished. There's
What is that?
that was my long one. Turn on the music again. I forgot.
Oh,
And he's like,
there is no room on the table for kittens.
I eventually plan to return to the Stone Tooth Mountains.
No rush in that now, huh?
And so yeah, you spend a few days, nights, kind of like getting to know some of them, but you seem to keep your distance a little bit as Zermos is kind of like looking at you all curiously from different spots, like the newcomer. And they actually eventually they send a few tieflings into town. They're brightly dressed, kind of like have makeup on or neat danglies in their horns, and they kind of like go through town with flyers trying to bring everybody towards them. And that night you find a few people coming curiously as they hold the show, and like Vasago does like a bit of a puppet show. He does like voices, and it's like this. It's the same story he told you, but animated through like a little puppets.
Ringo, there's nothing up there for you. Shake, shake, shake.
I'm gonna get up really quick. I had some sips of coffee.
Okay. You should see if that thing's still recording.
Looks to be. And yeah, they do some singing, Sago and Nija do a duet, and it's beautiful.
Golds.
And they have kind of their little collection hats. They kind of sweep off their silly hats, like a few of the ones in makeup, and like some coppers and a scattering of silvers put in them. And as the show fades,
I want to discreetly drop 50 gold.
okay.
This is the part where I don't know how to math. Okay.
So then he's like, after the show ends, he kind of comes in. He's like, Nisha, come quick! And they all kind of like, Scribble's like, what happened? And then he kind of pulls out the gold. And he's like, gold, we've never had gold before.
Oh my god.
And then,
So sad.
and they're like Nisha kind of like looks like, does that mean we might be able to, with this, we could maybe get a nicer carriage? And then he kind of looks at her and he's like, or maybe something without wheels.
No. Well, you guys did push on quite the performance. Not really surprised that everybody decided to toss a bit of gold your way.
Visago's just so like ecstatic. He's like this demands a feast. We must celebrate. And then he kind of goes into town, and he's gone for a couple hours, and he comes back with just like bunches and bunches of like armloads of like vegetables and meat, mostly meat. Tieflings like meat, and kind of splay it out.
I myself like a little bit of meat.
Of course you do when he shows the
Oh no,
tiefling.
I'm me. Like
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying that I love it. Something
Tieflings have
I
a
share
sharp
in
boob.
common with the tieflings.
And then there's a big, fantastic feast deep into the night. Everyone's celebrating. They're passing out ales, kind of like there's a few dares and like they go back and forth, like boastful. There's some contests going on, like a juggling contest and fake fencing as they kind of like go back and forth, the performers. And then it's like the fire kind of burns down a little bit. It's deep into the night, and then the party kind of winds down a bit.
I want to talk to Visago.
Okay.
What you said earlier is it true? Will you settle down here with your family?
He's like, well, maybe not here, but certainly now we have. Before it was just unfortunate, not going to happen. But this, maybe I can buy a couple of sheep, maybe get a few more hands, and get some materials. We might be able to build a little something. I don't know how we would house. And he gestures to all 10 tieflings. And he's like, I don't want to leave them by themselves. You know, they look to me, but maybe this is the start of a little bit of luck coming our way.
I'm happy to hear that these are your plans for the future. I do wish you and your family well.
Well, thank you. It strikes deep to my heart, and I wish you all of the blessings that one can wish.
So what next then? You stay here, or you will head to the next town?
Maybe stay here for a night, 2 more, see if we can repeat our luck a little bit, and then move on, as is our way.
I don't know. Haggard, you're a fool. What is it that you want to do? Shall we stay here?
What's that?
Shall we stay here?
Haggard's like, well, I need to start making my way back to the Stonetooth Mountains. Like, as you... Like, I love traveling with you, and if you ever need a friend in the Stonetooth Mountains, you can join me there, but...
It's been fun, love. But unfortunately, all great things come to an end. Oh, nice crocodile tears, Haggard. Come
They are
on.
dwarf tears, and they are far more potent. So he gives you this hug, picks you up, and he's...
Yes.
Crap.
Well, he can pick me up.
Oh, he can pick you up. How chunky are you?
I'm a pretty heavy lady.
How big?
I don't know.
I mean, like...
Like maybe.
In my mind, it's like...
Because she's also very tall.
How tall is she?
I mean, aren't tieflings in general pretty tall?
Human size.
Really? I thought we were like massive.
No, you're
I
human
was
size.
thinking like 6 feet.
I mean, you could be 6 feet. You're just human size, though. So 6 feet can be tall for...
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, like 6
You
feet.
could be like a 6 foot tall.
And then like.
She's kind of taller than most other tiefling women, though.
Yeah, she's a big lady.
Okay. I mean, Hagar...
I mean, I'm not really sure about the pounds.
Hagar picks you up and strains a muscle, though, actually. He's like, oh. He like taps his belly and then taps your belly. He's like, maybe a little too much roast duck, eh?
I'm gonna smack him. I'm gonna smack him. 14. Plus strength -1. So.
He smacks and he's just like, I hope it never fades.
13. Didn't your mother? Oh. I catch my tongue.
No, he
real
smacks
quick.
Alright, so what are you doing? What's your plan?
I'm gonna go ahead, since we're staying here for a bit, I'm gonna go ahead and venture into town and see what I can find.
Okay. Hagar kind of goes into town to get supplies and stuff, kind of just set things ready, get some maps to head his way back. And then it starts to kind of like, I'd say it's about sunsetting, so like not kind of like evening-ish. Alright, so you head into town, and
I
it's
definitely want to, because I'm imagining that I'm gonna head out on my own very soon. So I'd like to also like purchase rations, maybe get a map,
Okay.
Stuff like that.
So you head out and let's see. So I don't want like a map of the town, but it's like as you walk into this town and it's bigger with bustling people. Some people don't shoot you pay you no mind. It's like New York; they're just walking right by you. Some people kind of like give you a double take and with narrowed eyes, and they're all milling about their business. There's homes that you can see, like a few different kinds of shops, like a blacksmith, a general goods store. If you can think of it, it's probably here somewhere in this town.
I don't really need weapons, but like I said, like, just your basic like rations. Maybe like a sleeping cot or something like that.
Okay. So
A bag of holding.
So you kind of walk into this general store, and you come in, and it's with kind of like animal skins kind of stretched out, making kind of a canvas area. And there's a kind of woman behind, and she's like tanning the leather, like long, kind of like, well, not long, yeah, so long hair, kind of like tightly in a bun wrapped up behind her. And she kind of glances, and she does a bit of a double take, and she's like, yes, what can I do for you?
Hello, love. Yes, I'm looking for a couple of different things. What
We
is
have
it
a
that-
couple of things and more.
What is it that you recommend for someone traveling by themselves?
first I'd recommend not doing that. And she's just like, you would,
Not possible next.
yes, well, in that case, probably. She kind of glances over and is like, I don't know if you have possibly a weapon. There are wolves and some worse along these roads.
My music is my weapon. And then I kind of lightly tap my whip as well. This doesn't hurt either.
She's very skeptical, but she's like, I'm just passing on. She's like, okay. And he's like, well, definitely you need your pack, some supplies, some. Hopefully you're handy with some flint and steel to start a fire. And,
Commentary lets me light.
doesn't let you light fires, it just brightens and dims
shit.
lights.
Hold on.
She's like,
Well, how hard could it really be? Rolls a 1.
It's a survival check. So then she's
it
like,
starts raining.
she's like, then perhaps like a tent. A tent is very, very nice. Make
Yes.
fine animal skins. They're a little pricey, I'm not sure. And she kind of looks to you, used to tieflings not really having much coin. She's like, but for you, maybe a simple bedroll might be a bit more your speed.
What's your pricing?
Let's see. Price of a bedroll or a tent.
So I have like 60 gold left after paying 50.
She's like, well, you see, the bedroll itself would only run maybe a silver, but the gold, the tent, sorry to say, my dear, 2 gold.
2 gold.
She's like, yes, I know, I understand if it's not quite affordable
I
for
toss
you.
her 3. Keep the change, love.
She's like, my mistake there. Perhaps that loot does keep you safer on the road, brings you a little extra. And then she
Well, it's not just the loot now, and I kind of push my breasts out a little bit.
she's not
Maybe go
attracted.
a little bit away.
She's not amused. She's like, okay.
Doesn't matter. It's for my own
No,
entertainment.
I wanted to roll for it though. Rolled a 4.
You roll a 4?
She rolled a 4, so much.
Wait, so doesn't that mean she is? It's a bad roll, which means that I succeed.
Oh, okay. So she does give it. She thinks of her. Maybe the men aren't quite doing it for her now. And she's like, well then you probably need some stuff to stock the tent. So you need your pack. You need probably some lighting sources, some food. And, your typical survivor's pack. I'm actually gonna look up quick. There's like a. Yeah, there's a thing called an explorer's pack. So it's 10 gold. It weighs 59 pounds. It has a backpack, a bedroll, like a cooking kit, a tinder box, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, a water skin, and 50 feet of rope.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that then. Okay. I have a feeling this foe is gonna try to rip me off though now that I know she knows I have money.
She's like, yes, that's for all this you laid out there. It's kind of hard to come by a rope these days. 15 gold.
I wanna do an insight check to see if she's trying to cheat me.
Okay. What is it?
It's a 1! Whatever, take the 15 gold, you fool.
You can always try to like persuade and like haggle.
Oh, okay. I just figured. Well, I mean, I figured like knowing how much gold I have, like I really don't have any use for gold. So, like 15, I'm just gonna be like, all right, just take.
I'm gonna find ways to make it useful. So you can also do stuff
Right,
like,
but what I'm saying is that
with my little book there, like it has rules for like hiring bodyguards, hiring like carriages and stuff. Like,
Okay.
you can really kind of like get a whole.
all right.
Like, she's like,
Well,
oh.
I'm still either way. I still feel like she's like, all right, like she's not very like money
Yeah.
conscious at all. So And if it was like 3 gold just for, or 2 gold just for like a 10, with all that other stuff, I feel like it's not.
Okay. So she's like, oh yes, quick 15 gold. Is like, oh yes, thank you. And it's like, I still recommend maybe checking out to see if you can find. Some people might travel with one of your sort for a bit of gold. It's like, and I do recommend traveling, not quite alone, but that's just.
Yeah, well, I did really only ask your recommendation for.
And recommendation
Yeah,
given,
that's
but
good.
that's. Well, I hope you enjoy your travels. Hope you stay safe on the roads there.
Yeah, thanks.
Meow, Kenny.
She doesn't have time for this. She's gotta be drunk somewhere.
Okay. After like shopping around a bit, took a while to travel kind of into the heart of town, and the sun is definitely set and it's turning to night. So, what do you any other shops to check out or anything?
Now I'm gonna head back.
Okay. So you start to head
Well,
back.
is there anything interesting around, like where I am currently? Like anything that stands out?
I would say it's like definitely. It seems to be a smaller town, so there's nothing.
Okay.
No like magical bazaars or
Okay.
anything. But it's like like. But if you can think, it's a big enough town to where if you can think of something that would have it, like a blacksmith or like an herbalist, you're messy.
Is there horse stables? Can I purchase horse?
Yeah, probably has like a stables around
How
here.
much are horses?
You could ask the stable guy.
Alright, yeah, let's go to the stable so I can travel faster.
So you head into the.
Let me do this math. Oh, I don't have my phone. Can you give me your phone? I don't feel like doing all this right now.
Math.
I had 117. And then subtract all of these. 53 and 15. My
49.
mind's not working right now.
49.
49?
Mhm.
You subtracted it?
Yep.
49 gold is right here.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have been easier, but I just like when I was writing, I was actually like trying to like write it out and like subtract shit.
I know, like
I
the
was
full
like, wait,
thing.
how does this work again?
I haven't done that in so long. Yeah.
The handicap of using your calculator.
D&D will teach you math. So you can kind of find the stables. There's kind of like a gruff old man sitting there. He kind of glances at you and he's like, ah. He's like almost packing up for the night because it's darker now. He's like, what are you looking at?
Looking at quite a butte sitting in front of me.
Roll persuasion.
I got a grumpy old coop. 13 plus 4, 17.
Are you proficient in persuasion?
Yeah.
Yeah. So +2 persuasion.
Oh, okay.
So +6. So he's just kind of like he kind of smiles a little bit and he's just like, oh, okay. Sorry, I was a little gruff there.
No worries, it is late. My apologies.
And he's just yeah. So what are you looking for here?
Well, this is a stable, isn't it? Horses, have you got any?
Yeah, we got a mare or two.
2?
A mare or yeah, we got a mare or two. He has a few of them.
No stallions.
The stallion's like, I don't think you could handle a stallion.
Oh, honey, I've handled much more than stallions.
He blushes.
Are any of them up for sale by chance?
Okay.
I'm looking for a bit of a faster way to get around town or to other towns.
Well, not too keen on selling them as he's like, but he kind of brings one now. It's kind of like an older, medium-sized horse. I don't really know horse things very well. He knows horses things very well. He can explain it. And it's a palomino horse that has kind of a speckled pattern. She's a bit older, kind of like seems very tame.
Okay.
Doesn't seem to have too much fight in her, but she seems to be very steady in her.
How old is this old biddy?
And he's like, she slaps, and he's just like, hold enough.
You don't know how old horses get, so you don't want to say too old. Old enough then, huh? She's not going to keel over on me anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, hopefully, as long as you live a nice, quiet life.
Well, I can't guarantee that.
He's like, oh, a riding horse like this probably be like looks her up and down. Say about 70 gold.
70 gold?
It's like, aye, 70
You're
gold.
out of your bokas. She's quite old.
She's got 4 legs. She's a strong, sturdy back.
She's got no more birthing ability. But mares generally are, they sell for higher than that because they can breed. But this old lady, her old system's all dusty now at this point.
He's like, 65 gold. This is where you can do like persuasion checks and stuff.
Our horse is really 60.
Insight check.
2. So I have no idea.
Horses here are 60.
That's dumb.
He's like, if that's not much your speed. And he actually brings out and he kind of leads around. He's like, I don't know what to do with this one. It's a donkey.
I like donkeys.
He's like, I could probably part with this stubborn mule of a fellow for 15 gold. Our dispositions are too similar. We don't get along.
You're gonna have another donkey, won't you?
Two donkeys. Kind of like looks around, just like always have a pair of donkeys, I suppose. Yeah, so I guess he has 2 donkeys.
I'll take both donkeys for 20 gold.
20 gold? Are you trying to swindle me? Roll. 10 plus your.
For what, persuasion?
Yeah, he rolled a 6. I'm just like,
Either way I win.
You coin bastards drive a hard bargain. I don't see too many of your kind coming through here, and I would recommend not traveling alone. Do not.
Everyone is telling me that. I'm not really sure what was quite
like-
dangerous out there.
It's like not.
I've been traveling alone since I've been.
Not all the folk around here are as accommodating or understanding as I am, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah, well, I've been around quite a bit, and you're not the first person to tell me this. I've met my fair share of terrible people, I guess you could say.
Okay. Alright, well, I gave you my warning, that's all I can give.
If one was to be looking for companionship of some sort, where might you point them out to?
Well, there's always a couple of brutes looking to sell their swords around the taverns here. And, yeah.
Taverns, huh? Alright. Well, thank you. And I will take these 2 donkeys. What are they? Males? Females? Male and a female?
Which one would be more likely to, I don't know, which one's more likely for
Well, actually, my plan is going to give one of them to these guys, the tiefling people.
Okay.
Because they only had one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to help them speed things
Here,
along a bit.
here. One's male, 2 males.
2 males? Okay. Alright. Well, before I head to the tavern, I'm gonna go and drop these donkeys
Okay.
off.
As you pass, there is one distinctive feature. It's like in the town, it's kind of like a bigger chapel, kind of like a church-looking thing. That is, I forgot to mention, it is kind of the distinguishing feature of the town.
Chapel?
Yeah, as you look at it, has like your tall arched windows, and the statue kind of in front is of this like very stern-looking man who's missing one eye and has no arm. He's kind of holding the other one up with a sword.
Quite notably bloke, isn't he?
And so as you kind of head back in that direction, you see you see kind of like the smoke of their campfire, and you're kind of heading that way.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and as you get closer, you hear things being quiet.
I swear to God, Shane, I'm gonna cry right now. I'm gonna approach.
Things are quiet.
Is there nothing? I need to look around. Where is
Do an
everyone?
investigation check.
Masago? I'm looking at my list because I can't remember their names. Nisha. 5.
You kind of look and you start to. You just kind of walk in. You're looking around, looking for them, and you're kind of call out their names, not sure where they went. And, as you kind of get closer, you see that the campfire is not just the campfire. There's one of their tents was caught fire, and you find, as you get closer from the light, a few bodies strewn around it.
Oh my god. I just bought 2 doggies. Oh no, not again. Artemis is very distraught.
And you see markings on their bodies of violence.
This is the worst.
You can't seem to find Zirmos, Visago, or Nisha, the 3 you knew most. At least in the area that you see around the campfire.
Is there any sign who could have done this?
True perception.
14.
So you're looking around and you kind of like look inside of the cart and you find Nisha lying down with Visago kind of like lying over her, and he doesn't seem to be moving at all.
Is there any sign of the kid?
You don't see any sign of Zirmos. But you do kind of hear like a quick gasp as you come closer, and you can find as Nisha kind of like her eyes flutter a bit, and she looks to be very wounded, but her eyes flutter a bit.
I'm gonna ask her what happened.
She's like, these men, they came, they took everything. And she starts like, she's kind of like crying and weeping a little bit, and gasps as her breath catches from the wound. It's like they called us horrible things. And they took, and she kind of just realizes Visago now, and she starts to be just, like inconsolable. You can't.
Where's Vermos?
She's like, I don't know. Where is Zirmos?
Can I call out to him?
You can call out.
0.
You can call out.
Is there no response?
There's no response. And she kind of like, as she steadies herself a bit.
Is there anything I don't like? Is she gonna die?
You can do a medicine check.
13.
So
My allergies.
So you're able to actually kind of put pressure on her wound. You don't know too much of medicine, but you know kind of the basics there. What was that?
Oh shit. Oh no, I thought he ate it. I
What?
thought I heard him eating newt,
Yeah.
and I thought I could have sworn he was very close to eating one of those Daniels.
And I'll feed him after this.
Sorry. Wow, I'm so distraught right now.
And so you do kind of get her to stabilize, and she just kind of has this sullen, empty look in her eyes. And then they kind of like take on this hardened glint. And she kind of like gently moves Visago's body off of her and kind of like goes to the back, rummages around in some of the crates.
So she's not dead.
She's not dead now. With your medicine check, you kind
I
of
almost
stabilize a bit.
wish I almost would have let her.
Wow.
Well, not only because like now she's going through the exact same thing with Artemis.
So she actually finds, she's like, now she's a little more like, she looks just shell shocked, but she's talking to you. And then she kind of relays, and I would say like she's still wounded, like she's still previously wounded, but you've stabilized enough to where she's able to like kind of move around a bit. And she finds these like beautifully written like marks on papers, and she pulls them out, and then she says, kind of like puts them in your hand, kind of like forcefully, and she says, it's like,
They came, they called us monsters. They didn't know how much of a monster we can be.
What did they look like?
They're, what are the she's like, they're just, they came, they look like knights from the stories. They weren't here to protect, they just came, they called us horrible things. They said, there was one man who stood out, he had like a gray beard, he looked a bit older, and he was missing one arm.
You don't say.
He was just walking with them. They did all the horrible things. And then she like kind of like gasps and she kind of like loses a bit of consciousness, comes back again, and she like points to the papers.
Aisha, it's not good for you to be standing around.
And then she gets more firm. She's like, no. We've run too far. We've run too long. It's like I don't like they mistreat us for our heritage. We run from it sometimes. But if they want to make us monsters, then we can become monsters. And all those little scroll things that she handed you, it's like written in red, like lines, and you recognize it as infernal writing.
Aisha, this isn't a battle. I can fight, man. Believe me, this isn't
for protection.
This isn't new for me. It's happening again. I can't do this.
She shakes her head and she's like, it always happens again. And she's like, start to like drift and kind of lose consciousness a bit.
The child. Where's the child?
I don't know. You know, he likes to run off. He likes to play games, run away. I pray to the gods he wasn't here when it happened.
I'll find him.
She's like, I pray that. She like gasps and kind of coughs up blood. She's like, I pray that you do.
Can I cast smoke on him?
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
I know, this is too much. Sucks. My D8s, right?
Mhm.
7.
I mean, you don't have to roll those.
Oh,
She'll
okay.
just-
Alright.
So as she's sleeping, she just says, she's like, play the infernal chords. And her eyes flutter and she kind of like leans back to the saga and then sighs once.
Man, this is too much. God, I knew I should have left. Artemis is taking swigs. This isn't good.
And
Are there any blankets or anything around?
yeah, there's some blankets.
Alright, she's gonna go ahead and grab that and cover and bodies. I'm gonna look for the kid now.
Okay, so you're
Is there any sort of sign of me where you
doing
went?
investigation. You don't really see anything as you're looking around. Kind of like you're
Well,
almost
7
shocked
plus.
as well.
Oh, damn it! Never mind. I thought I saw.
So yeah, you're kind of like don't see any sign from there. And
Wait, fuck! Could I have used healing word on her? Well, she's dead now. Damn it!
I mean, maybe.
I don't think there's any point in keeping her alive, but.
Wow, cold-hearted.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. Everyone's dead. I'm so depressed. Alright, we gotta find the kid.
So as you're looking
Where
around,
the fuck was Haggard?
you
Why
went off.
did
Remember?
he leave?
You went off to do
He didn't
his
stay
own
one fucking night. Alright.
And so yeah, you're looking around. You don't see any sign. It's getting kind of dark now at the night. The only light is from the burning tent at the campfire. And yeah, the only thing you got from her were those strange papers.
What are they?
So as you examine them, you recognize it almost like at first it was just symbols and meaninglessness to you, but you recognize them now as you're like looking closer. You can see them like a vague resemblance to sheet music.
I'm gonna play it.
Okay, so do a performance check with advantage.
14
Plus all those
plus 4 plus 2.
Yeah, and I think you actually should have more skills, so we'll take a look at that really quick after this.
What do you mean?
I think because you only have 3 skills total. I think you need more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, we take the other one. Yeah, so you actually, so as you play them, the sound that emanates from your lute is weird and discordant. Like that starts as you're just strumming the notes you're familiar with, but as you start to like play along with sheet music, they start to echo and ring out oddly and weirdly. It ends kind of like with an echoing flourish into the night.
Do I feel anything?
You're like, what was that? Like, just the sound was not something you were expecting.
Odd.
What do you do?
I play it again.
Okay, this time
I
it sounds
keep
normal.
playing it.
It sounds normal as you play it this time. And you hear a voice, and it's like, you only need to play it once, though.
Zerbles?
As you turn, you find a tall, looks almost like a tiefling at first glance, but this one is tall. And the horns are much more pronounced. The tail is extremely long and whip-like. And what you thought was like a cloak. Like, she kind of sees you eyeing it, and she kind of flexes a bit, and the wings kind of come out and flatten.
What in the hell are you?
And she's like, well, you're the one who called me, so I was hoping that you might have a little bit more to say than that.
I have nothing to say, really.
I mean,
I just witnessed.
Eternity I have, but still you're wasting my time with your prater.
Wasting your time. And how valuable is your time if I can call you at the whim with a simple music song?
Well, my time's worth depends. Why did you call me?
Well, I did it really. I was just playing some sheet music in front of me. What?
And she kind of like looks around and sees us, and she's like, she's like, such nasty business this is. Happens all the time, doesn't it?
Fortunately.
Yes, can't seem to run away from it. She kind of like playfully taps on your horn. You're marked.
My horn.
Mhm.
Oh!
Yeah.
I
You're
thought
like, I have a-
instrument.
Oh no.
No. I have a horn. Yeah, well, trying to get used to it. That seems to be common with our type.
Doesn't have to be.
How so?
Like little lamb is you're running, always running from this.
Nonsense. I'm not running.
And
I'm adventuring.
she kind of sees absolutely. You get the sense from her eyes piercingly. She sees right through all the lies that you tell yourselves. And she's just like, little lamb.
What do you know, anyways?
Like, I know a great many things.
Like,
Like what are you asking, and then what do you have to offer?
I'm asking for nothing. I just.
Nothing. You want nothing.
Well,
You might be the first I've ever come across who wants nothing.
it's not that I don't want anything, it's that there's nothing worth caring for enough to want anything.
It's like, what about righting the wrongs done to you? What about
And what good does that do me? It's not going to correct the wrongs that will happen later.
might prevent it from happening again? And she looks around. Some other poor saps who are caught in the wake.
Tempting.
She's like, I can see you're a stubborn type. So consider it an open offer. Well, I'll come back with when you use rushing into a deal so soon.
Wait, there is something.
Yes.
A child. He's gone. I need him found.
Ah, I suppose. So, if we help you find this child of yours,
We?
it's like, I'm not the only one of my kind. As you are, well, maybe you're the only one of your kind now. She looks around. She's like, it's a dwindling type. And she's like, so I might be able to help you find this child of yours. If, I'll say if you, and she kind of looks and she's like, it does right. It makes me very, very angry to see this again. She's like, I might not have much sympathy, but we're family, you and I, distantly. And I hate to see this, so I'll help you find this child if you help me. I think there should be blood for this. If you pay the lives of 3 men who committed these sins, then I will help you find the child.
Well, these men do deserve something as terrible as what they've done.
And then, as soon as you say it, your loot actually gets a branded rune mark that sears around it, and it's written in the same infernal script that you recognize.
That's awesome.
And
That's so cool.
she's like, stricken. And then she's like, well, I hope to see you again. And then, like, in a flash, you kind of blink, and then there's just nothing there.
I ride into town with my donkeys.
And as you hear from inside your loop,
What's that smell? Is it donkey again? I hate donkey.
What is that awful whining?
a little creature crawls out from inside your loop. It's vaguely humanoid, but its legs kind of like curve backwards into claws. It has some little bat-like wings and a little bat-like snout, and like little pointy horns. Like they're a little mismatched. One goes one way, one goes the other. He's like looking around, sniffing. He's like,
Donkeys? Why are there 3 donkeys here?
There's only 2.
it's like,
And one of them talks to me.
Oh, you little shit. You're a bit too ugly to be talking, aren't you?
It's like, and you're a bit too ugly to be calling someone ugly. And he gets up and he's like, I am a noble, dignified member of my most extraordinary and extravagant and most glorious race.
Really?
I will
Why
have
are
you
you here
know.
then?
I woke up in this wooden box.
Sounds like a bit of a reject to me then.
he puffs up, like literally puffs up. He like inflates a bit, almost like a puffer fish.
Calm down then, little one. She kind of pokes him in
He
the chest.
deflates a bit. He's like, huh. He's like, I remember, and he's kind of walks. He's pacing in circles around, like on your loop. He's like,
Huh? I was here to look for something. Something I needed to find.
Fine.
Something. I was told to find something. Look for something.
Oh, are you here to help me then?
Well, I
Looking
wouldn't go
for a
so
child.
far. Help. Child, that's it. Look for one of those wee little buggers. Yes, I'm quite good at finding things.
Well, off you go then.
and kind of like flaps up. He's kind of hovering there, and his bat-like nose is sniffing. And you watch as he actually vanishes. He disappears. And kind of like looking around.
Alright, well.
And so while he's gone, your loop, you've noticed it's changed. It's not just the writing on it. It feels different, solid, like the material itself. Like the wood, it's like blackened into like an ebony wood, and like it looks like almost like charcoal. And the strings kind of like seem to, like as you take an experimental strum, as they vibrate, they kind of like leave a little bit of an after image of the wavering. That's hard to detect except for someone who notices.
Cool. Alright.
Alright. And you're level 3.
Oh, I am. Cool. That was
I think we're gonna end there.
Oh, I'm having so much fun. God, alright, well, I guess I could use a cry right now.
Do you wanna wait?
What do I use? Where do I put a little...
The imp pops up really quickly. He's like, "You never asked me my name." Very offended. I'm very offended.
Artemis and you?
My name is Lex Talionis Nicoriax the Conqueror. The Conqueror, and then you must address me by my full title. I will not have a impudent little imp such as yourself calling me anything less.
Well, I've already forgotten your name.
He just pops up. He's very offended. So the loot is actually called reprisal.
Ooh.
And you almost, as you strum it, you hear like, Artemis, your name means huntress. A huntress needs a weapon.
Reprisal.
Yeah. And you don't need to identify it. You have innate knowledge now as you get it. So reprisal has the shillelagh effect on it, so you can. It's a melee weapon, and it also allows you. You also have a. It has the ability to cast spiritual weapon.
Which is?
It summons a spiritual weapon. It's like a. You manifest a weapon that on your bonus actions, it's like a floating weapon that can look like anything you want. It typically takes. This one would typically take the appearance of a like flaming sword, but you can make it look like whatever you want. And you have the imp familiar now. When you write him down, you have to write his full title.
Oh my god. What is it again?
Lex Talionis Nicoriax, the Conqueror.
Lex Talionis
Nicoriax,
Nicoriax.
the Conqueror.